Hi, this is Mac.
Oh, okay, great.
You're listening to the M&K Productions Podcast.
Patrick, guess what came in the mail today?
Oh, what?
This.
Stick it in!
That's right. That video was not AI. Welcome to another edition, the post-wedding special of the M&K Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Mac from Mac Movie Reviews, joined here as usual by my co-host, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. Kristen, you want to explain to the audience what that video was in the beginning of the episode as the intro?
That was at my wedding.
Yeah, Miss Flamingo tied the knot with her longtime fiance, now husband, Dylan. Shout out to Dylan.
Yes.
What's up, man? And me and my family went to the wedding, and we got to spend some time with the newlyweds, and it was an awesome time, wasn't it?
I was just so happy and honored you came to spend a huge special day with me. Like I said, Mac, you are like the perfect younger little brother. I just like love to watch over and just see everything that you do with film, and we talk like basically every day, and knowing that you were just played a part in my life now, and you got to be part of my special day to celebrate it with me meant a huge honor to me.
Oh, it was like surreal because I was like, oh my God, we walked in the church, I saw you. I was like, oh my God.
And then literally the first time like we saw each other in person was me walking down the aisle after I said the I do's.
I was like, oh,
and I was just like, oh, I was ready to walk away from my husband.
I know. I was like, keep going. You were like 2 steps away from coming over there. I was like, oh no, keep walking. But as soon as we got to the reception, it was like,
just like super big bear hugs. I was like giving bear hugs to like everybody that was there at that point. But
it was it was weird because like it's not like weird like in a bad way. It was weird in a good way because it's like I've known you for like almost 4 years now, and like to finally meet up after all this time, just you getting married and just seeing you face to face was just such like a surreal experience. You're like, holy shit, this is someone that I like is like one of my best friends, and just like she's my Italian sister, and like I just like seeing her in her wedding dress tying the knot with someone, just like she's interacting with my mom, interacting with my sister. I'm talking to her sister. I'm talking to her parents, her husband. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so
and my
like
friends, and my husband's friends. And
I'm like,
stuff. Everybody was around you.
And it was funny too because everyone's like, "Oh, you're Mac! Oh, what up, man?" I was like, I felt like a mini celebrity at your wedding.
Yeah,
I was like, oh
everybody
my God.
was so excited because they all know that that I do the podcast. So they were like, "Oh, Mac is coming!" So then they were like, "Oh, everybody in our friends groups are very welcoming and open with bear hugs and open arms." So it's like nobody was ever gonna feel excluded or anything like that. You just part of the fun.
Yeah, and I had a tequila shot. Never doing it again. Tastes like fucking pig dinner.
That was the highlight of
tequila
the after
shot
party. Mac had never done tequila before, so at the after party it
was so gross.
We did a celebration shot. There were more shots though, but that one was Mac's first time having tequila, and
last.
You did not like it. I offered, to be fair, I offered a green tea shot. Y'all, if you ever have a green tea shot, go have that.
But
they are delicious.
Yeah. But how was your mini moon, and how was
mini moon was good. Mini moon was good. We took a little vacation. My husband and I are saving up to go on a bigger honeymoon, and because it was weird, because especially around this time, since we got married basically right before Thanksgiving, and at the time of the recording, when we did the Frozen episode, so much happened like in between then. Like I was just like, we don't have time to go on like a vacation, so might as well just go somewhere that we want to both go to next year. But we did go to a nice place in Florida. We went to Naples for a little trip. It's like in South Florida, so, and it was beautiful, great weather, good food, but it was a good time. Got to see some capybaras, which were adorable. Funny thing was, my husband, it was his first time in Florida, so
really,
he got so excited to see the little lizards. So he was literally like chasing all of them. He just wanted to pick one up so badly. He was ready to make that his souvenir from Florida because they're like the little Geico lizards. So we were like going around. I'm like thinking like every time I saw one, I was just thinking of the insurance commercials. So I was like, all right, well, TSA is not going to love it. And if you bring that on the plane, he's like, they're not going to care. Like, he was just joking around. He just wanted to pick one up. He thinks like little lizards like that are cute. So.
Oh, it would be funny too if he got one. He just snuck it in his shirt and like they didn't even check.
He put it in his pocket, like
just
like one of the the pen pocket squares.
Yeah, the pocket protectors.
Yes, and then like imagine like the little paws are just like hanging out and the head is just poking out. Just sitting there.
Oh,
just imagine that. That would be like.
I want one now, but yeah, no. The wedding was a success.
Yes,
so happy.
Was a success.
Success.
Nothing real bad. Nothing bad happened.
No, it was good food, good times, good vibes, and everything. And I guess
also at the wedding, you celebrated your birthday.
Yes. So two things at this new podcast era is that, first of all, I'm taking notes. I actually made notes for what we're talking about today. Took a page out of your book. And not only is Kristen married, I am now officially 24 years of age. I'm in my
almost a quarter.
Yeah. So the day when you got married was the day before your birthday, and I think it was I don't know who went up to the DJ and was like, can you tell like
yes
MAGA?
That was a family friend of mine.
Yeah, I was like,
sweetheart.
I was not expecting that. And then like I think I was talking to Dylan.
I was telling people that like it was your birthday, so it got to her, and then it eventually made its way to the DJ. So
Dylan thought one of his friends was pranking him. He's like, wait, whose birthday is that? He had no idea. Like,
he forgot.
It was funny though, because like, no, it was
and I'm like, it's Mac's birthday, duh.
But yeah, I had a fun time with my birthday. I spent some time with my girlfriend when we got back. I did my first big boy drive. I drove 4 hours in New Jersey, drove 2 hours back. Mary, my car, did a good job of handling that. And yeah, I just had so much fun. I got my dad I asked him to borrow $75, and he texted me today. He's like, that's your birthday gift, have fun. I was like, thanks. I got a snow mug, I got an air freshener. You gave me a cool books that I am currently reading for my birthday, and I really love it. I got some more books. And
lots of film books.
Yeah, like
film books.
My someone else gave me a film book too. I have 3 film books now. So I love. There's still one film book that I want that I found in a bookstore. It's called like 1,000 Films to See. I'm gonna find it and get it. But yeah, no, I just yeah, lots changed with this podcast. And as we're wrapping up the year, we got a lot of episodes coming up today and through the year, and we're really excited. It's gonna be a new era where it's like, especially since we got a little update with a certain strike. Kristen, you want to update the folks on what happened between the recordings?
Yes. Literally, I think it was like the next day after we recorded our Frozen episode.
About that, yeah.
The strike ended.
Yep. It was like great, awesome.
And by then the podcast was recording, and then I was re-listening to it, and we're like, oh, the strike is still going. And then I'm like, no, it's not. It's over now.
I was like, damn, talk about timing.
It was like the timing and everything. But the strike did end.
Yes.
After 118 days.
That's 4 months about that.
Yeah, it was a while. After 118 days of the Actors Guild being on strike, the SAG-AFTRA and the studios reached a tentative deal on a new contract that would see Hollywood up and running again. And as you can see, press has been going on. People have been going back to talk about the movies and the TV shows that they're allowed to talk about. So
we'll be getting some trailers and some casting news that we're
no more switching up release dates as what we know now. Dune got in a new date because everything got rearranged.
The only Marvel movie coming out next year is Deadpool 3. Everything got pushed back to 2025
because now filming is back up and running. So
I will say the one film I'm actually excited that is going to get some work done is Tron 3. Because they said it was like right about to start filming when the strike happened, so I'm happy it's back on.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that has been changed because of the release date, and especially like the big budget projects, like the ones that you had mentioned. But who knows? Things could be up and running fast. Not saying it. It can happen, but it could. But I did want to read something from The Verge that discusses the strike. So, reading over the SAG-AFTRA's 18-long-page summary of the tentative agreement, the union's assertion that this deal could help thousands of performers build a sustainable career certainly sounds somewhat plausible. But when you start to paraphrase the contracts and provisions regarding what specific new guardrails would be put in the place of the protect the SAG members, it appears as if the AMPTP, a trade association representing the film studios, is asking actors to trust that it will act in good faith. SAG-AFTRA's summary includes a number of new additions for different kinds of digital replicas that can be created, and details on how studios would have to obtain clear and express consent from the actors well in advance of having their likeness captured. In some but not all cases, the tentative deal will be required that actors be paid in at least a minimum a day performer rate, including residuals as applicable, for the process of having their faces and bodies scanned. All of it sounds all right at face value, but part of it has promoted critics in a tentative deal like the director and former SAG board negotiating committee member, Justine Bateman, to speak out against are all the summaries caveats that sound as if they could be fashioned into loopholes benefiting the AMPTP studios. It's a lengthy thread, and this is going on and on and on from what we had said. But if you want to read it, there's more about it. This was going over what it was about. This is from the article SAG-AFTRA's new contract hinges on studios acting responsibility with AI by Charles Pullman Moore. And I'm still figuring out what actors can do given the fact it's artificial intelligence. It seems that
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm assuming from what it sounds like, it's like, okay, in some cases, if I'm not available for something like filming schedule, you can use like a stand-in for me for like a scene until we do it, or just keep it like that. But
they kind of do that already with stand-ins when they place them, though. And then you're going off of that.
I think it's more like, hey, you can't use my likeness because I'm not going to get paid from it. That's
that was one of the huge things besides the I forgot. The residuals for streaming. Yeah. That was one of the big things.
Because they don't get. I've read a lot of actors. They say that they don't really get paid a lot for streaming. I think someone from Friends says they don't get a lot of money from the streams on Netflix or Peacock, wherever it is on.
One of the rules I remember hearing is that there's new rules for self-tapes.
What's that?
In auditions, when you send let's say she doesn't have to do this. Jennifer Aniston has to send in an audition tape for a new Marvel movie. They would just give her the part if they offered it to her. But I'm just saying, for someone like a Jennifer Aniston, they have to submit a tape. I think it's like they get like a little bit more time, or they just get a little bit more with pages or something like that. I'm looking at it now. So self-tape rules. It says what you need to know, self-tape changes you need to know, pay an audition. This is what I'm reading from Stage Door Designs. It says all self-tape requires must be free for the auditioner to view and submit. Short form, there's some technical things, memorization requirements. Casting can no longer require the auditioner memorize their lines for a self-tape audition. If you need to use sides or a teleprompter to complete your self-tape audition, your contract is protecting you. So at least that's a thing. Page limits, initial first time auditions must be limited to at least 5.5 pages of lines and contracts. So that's like a little bit better from what I'm seeing. Like I still remember seeing that. This is also like I just got this from an article from what I like. That's a huge thing because I know at least from seeing people post their audition tapes a lot of the times on TikTok. If they didn't get the part, people posted their audition on TikTok.
I've seen that, yeah.
And you never saw them with the script. They had to memorize it. So at least if someone were to say like could read the teleprompter in front of them, like it's not that hard to get a teleprompter, but it can be a little pricey. But
I thought it was just called
at
using
least
your phone.
you can use your phone, and honestly, there are ways you can use your phone as a teleprompter if you're going to record it. So
I've done it.
So that's the thing. I'm still kind of getting familiar with this because like I said, this was all becoming new to me as I was preparing for my wedding. So I didn't really have enough time to dive into deep what has changed for SAG. Like I literally have now been seeing like Emma Stone and Nathan Fielder now going on Jimmy Kimmel to talk about, their new stuff, so.
Well, so what that means for us too is that we did it across the picket line. We didn't do any new movie reviews and we didn't talk about any news. Not this episode because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're not a lot of stuff. We want to keep it short for like the first one back until we get in this new grind holiday schedule. Next episode, we'll be going over some film news because there's been a lot of stuff going on. And like you mentioned before we started recording, there could be more stuff to go on. And I don't want this to be dated, at least yet. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be talking about newer movies too. And then, So
yeah, we wanted to keep everything fair. So now that the strike is over, it's been over for, let's say, about 2.5 weeks now.
That, yeah.
Wow, that's just been just as long as I've been married. Oh my God. That's so weird to think about. Oh my God. Yeah, so we can start talking about new movies. So that means we will give you guys the scoop on this. One movie Mac and I are going to be discussing is the Zac Efron movie and Jeremy Allen. That's one movie we're both going to be excited about, and we're going to be talking about towards the end of the year. So be on the lookout for that.
That is my anticipated movie of the year because you know how much of a wrestling fan I am. So.
I know, and that movie looks incredible, and I've heard a lot of praise about the performances of that film.
And you do not know the real story, correct?
No, I've becoming a lot more aware from talking to you and talking to a couple of other wrestling fans that I've gotten to know through our film community.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot, and I haven't told Dylan because I'm dragging Dylan to see this movie once it opens Christmas weekend, and I just told him, you're going to cry. I said, I'm not going to tell you anything what happens. I think we saw the trailer when we went to go see
the trailer looks really good. Like someone said,
yeah, I really like the trailer.
The comments were clowning Zac Efron because they said he looks like Lord Farquaad. I'm like, damn, all right.
I think we showed the trailer when I went to go see Saltburn because Dylan and I went to go see Saltburn over the
how was that
holiday weekend. I'll be posting a review about it soon. But I don't love it as much as Promising Young Woman. I love Promising. I love Promising Young Woman.
I know that. Yeah.
And for me to get excited about Emerald Fennel, I was like dragging Dylan to his first Emerald Fennel movie. So there's some shocking stuff that happens in Saltburn, but I also did see Thanksgiving as well. We saw that too.
How was that?
I think from the two that we saw, we both had more fun. Dylan had more fun watching Thanksgiving because it was just so ridiculously stupid and dumb, given Eli Roth's track record. And I didn't realize it that like once we got out of the movie, we went to go grab a quick dinner.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I'm just like, oh God. And he goes, what? And I said, I realized this is the first time we saw this director's movie. I was like, we watched Knock Knock. And he goes, oh no. And he didn't, because we both like enjoy Dylan knows I enjoy Keanu Reeves, and we watched it because he had never seen it, and I was just like, it's okay.
Keep in mind too, this is the same guy who's going to be doing the Borderlands movie with Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Cate Blanchett and Jack Black. So I mean, I got nothing against Eli Roth. I actually think I like his movie.
I think his kills are good. I think when it comes to executions and stories, he's god awful.
If you want a good example of him, I'd say the first Hostel is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Hostel is really good. Like I actually like the first Hostel movie.
And a bad example would probably be Knock Knock, and somewhere in the middle, I'd have to say probably Green Inferno.
Oh my gosh, yes, Green Inferno was the worst. I'll take.
To be fair, it wasn't that bad in my opinion. I will
take the memes that happen in Knock Knock over Green Inferno. Green Inferno is just stupidly disturbing and just grotesque.
You didn't like him trying to make his own version of Cannibal Holocaust when like the girl was like I'm hungry, and she realized that she's eating her friend. She just breaks the bowl and it cuts her neck off. And then you didn't like the fact that Junie from Spy Kids was in it.
No, I forgot that he was in it. Actually,
it's this the Green Inferno is like a social experiment to be like, I wonder what like you can tell your friends like watch this movie, they just look at you like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like there's so much weird stuff in that movie that I'm like, are you trying to be disturbing? Or it's
just
like
tries to be disturbing, but it's not. It comes off as like this grotesque cringe, or it's like
it's funny.
I remember
sometimes.
even at the very end of that film, there was like a post-credit scene, and it was like
it was a teaser because it said the professor. Well, spoilers for Green Inferno. I don't think anyone gives a shit, but
no one gives a shit about Green Inferno.
Pretty much, this girl joins this activism group led by this handsome teacher who's Spanish and everything. I think it was like Argentinian or something. They go to the rainforest, try to stop it. Turns out it's not what it is because it's like it was like a fraud, and she found out like it's bullshit because her dad is like part of the United Nations or something. Their plane crashes and they get captured by these cannibals and these tribe people, and then they have to escape, and they go through a situation. It's very awkward too because there's just a lot of it's cannibalism, weird poop jokes. A girl just has full-blown diarrhea in the corridor.
Oh my god, I remember that.
The guy teacher just starts pleasuring himself, saying, "You can clear your mind better when you." I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what's happening?
I remember seeing this movie like in a packed theater too.
I saw it on Netflix.
I didn't. I went to the theater to see it with people, and it was like in such a packed theater, and I just remember sitting there just feeling this is
it's a weird
awful
movie. I'd say watch at your own risk, but I guess I don't know if I mentioned this because I think I watched it after the podcast. The last movie I saw was actually Killers of the Flower Moon.
There's murders in my town. No investigations.
We have so many deaths we've lost count.
What do you think's gonna happen?
You're next.
We need to find the truth about these killings.
Oh my God.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Rated R. Only in theaters October 20th. Get tickets now.
Yes, did you enjoy?
I actually did. I will put that. It's definitely going to my top 10.
It's definitely in my top 10.
A little too long. I love Scorsese, but what the hell are you doing with this 3-hour mark? Or this almost 3-hour movie?
I felt like it flew by, honestly.
It did, and I liked the performances. I thought it was gonna go another way than what the trailers were letting on. Like I wasn't really expecting that would happen, but I thought it was very interesting, and I thought the performances were good. I thought Lily Gladstone was a really good standout in the film.
Yeah, I agree.
It's definitely like a film. And then Spotify launched that new thing where you can have the premium audiobooks. I actually downloaded the audiobook the book that's based on the movie.
Oh really?
I mean the movie based on the book. I downloaded the book and I actually listened to it, and it was just very interesting to
You're good.
I listened to the book that is based on. It's very interesting about the whole case and everything. And
a lot of people were reading it, but I didn't. I ended up reading like other stuff that was being adapted. I'm actually reading Poor Things at the moment since that comes out soon. So
but yeah, I still gotta see the Marvels, even though I'm not really in a rush to see that. Probably whatever.
Yeah.
Then Iron Claw's coming out, and probably gonna see Wonka. Probably get the chance to go see Dream Scenario and Holdover. So yeah,
Dream Scenario I really liked a lot, so I recommend Dream Scenario over seeing the Marvels. I didn't see that yet, but if anything,
I already saw the post-credit scenes. I'm like, wow, okay, fine.
Yeah, I don't think they have a direction anymore where this is going.
Well, the whole thing because Nia DaCosta apparently left like half production, and she's kind of been like in a pat way, saying in a nice way, this is not my film. Like she said, I can tell like from their press tour, it's like, well, this isn't really my film. This is more Kevin Feige's film. I kind of wanted to do something else, but Kevin Feige wanted to just cut down on it. So there's a lot of blame, but it's not doing well at the box. So same with the Hunger Games. So
Hunger Games, I think, is doing relatively a little bit better than the Marvels.
It's doing better, but it's not like breaking records.
Yeah, I just didn't get to see. I'm interested, if anything, in the new Hunger Games because of Rachel Zegler. So,
oh man,
I like her, but I just
can't wait for Snow White.
I'm not crazy about Snow White now anymore.
And don't forget, isn't next year we're getting Wicked too?
Yeah,
I forgot. Like, I don't know. I just thought about that because I thought about Snow White. And I was like,
that should be a whole podcast episode of like what's been going on with the Ethan Slater and Ariana Grande drama.
There's drama with that?
You didn't know that Ariana Grande got divorced or is getting divorced?
I heard about it, but I didn't know with who.
She had like an on-set like fling. This is, I'm going to say alleged because alleged. But you know, it has come out that her and the guy who was SpongeBob on Broadway had an affair.
That sentence, that's one of the funniest. Hey, Kat from Victoria had a alleged affair with the guy who played SpongeBob on Broadway. That's like some weird Adult Swim type parody Robot Chicken.
I'll bet you think you're ready to make that Krabby Patty.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Whoa there. We still have a few more topics to cover first.
And it's funny because if you look at a picture between Ethan Slater and Ariana Grande's brother, they kind of look alike, which is kind of oddly like really scary. And like the stuff that was happening, like there's a whole timeline. If we want to talk about it one day,
are we looking at are we looking at another No Hard Feelings situation?
You mean Don't Worry Darling?
I mean, wow, Don't Worry Darling. It's the wrong movie. Are we looking at that another situation with Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles?
Something like that. It's like the scandalous on-set romance.
Oh god. So
situation.
It's shaping up to be Wicked is gonna be okay to mid movie, but the behind the scenes stuff is gonna be more entertaining than the movies.
I think it's gonna be more interesting given the on-scene. I mean, it could drive up box office numbers given that the drama that's been going on set.
That's true. But we've been rambling on. We've been making up for lost time. But yeah, should we get to the topic for today?
Yes.
What are we talking about?
We are talking about wedding movies.
Yeah.
Because I got married. This was Mac's idea.
Yes.
But to help us break it down, I said to Mac, you pick your 3 favorites and I'll pick my 3 favorites. So, favorites. Okay. Do you say it with the, like, do you spell it with the U? Do you put the U in your favorite?
No, I just spell it regularly. I know that people put U in it, but I just do F-A.
Yeah, because I know, like, when I saw the favorite with,
yeah.
You know, with Emma Stone, there's, like, I believe there's, like, a U in it. Like,
there could be a U in it. It depends on like what you mean.
Like, you know, that film, the 2018 film I'm referring to. Like that's when I realized,
Emma Stone was in that?
In the favorite. Yeah, with Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz.
Oh, I didn't know Emma Stone was in there. Maybe all I was focused on was
Olivia.
Yeah,
Rachel?
that's it. Olivia Colman.
Yeah, she was in that, and then that's ties into her and Largo's Lithimos teaming up again for Poor Things.
Okay.
But going into the wedding stuff,
wedding movies.
You picked your 3. I have my 3.
Yes.
Let's see. I want to pull mine up. Do you want to say your first favorite?
Sure. I'm going to start from bottom to top. So these top 3s, they're all good in my opinion. They're all my personal favorites.
Say your first favorite.
First favorite. Well, I'm going to start from the bottom and I'll go from the top. So this is the third one. So my third favorite is going to be Adam Sandler's The Wedding Singer.
Everybody on the dance floor.
America's favorite wedding singer is all show.
Whoopity-doo!
Wedding singer, all go.
I am never going to marry a wedding singer.
Things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
And all Adam.
You will listen to every word I have to say.
Adam Sandler. Ooh, Drew Barrymore, The Wedding Singer.
Get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Because there's something about it which is like sort of a classic film. Like I feel like everyone, when they talk about like, oh my gosh, Adam Sandler used to be funny and everything, they always mention The Wedding Singer. And when I was a kid, I didn't get it because I'm like, oh, what's so good about this like film that everyone's saying like this is when he was funny. And I watched it. It's actually a very funny film. Like Wedding Singer is like probably to this day, I say it's one of his best roles in my opinion.
I agree for that. And I think it's the better movie he has done with Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, because they did another movie together, right?
They've done like 3. Honestly, I think they did 50 First Dates.
Okay, I remember that one. Yeah,
and the one with where they go to like Hawaii or something like that.
Oh, was that Punch Drunk Love?
No, that's totally different. That's actually an amazing movie.
Okay, no, wait a minute. I know the one you're talking about when they're in Hawaii because I actually like that movie.
Blended.
Oh, that one. Oh, never mind.
No, they go to Africa. Excuse
Africa.
me.
That's Blended. Okay, I was like Hawaii. No, I'm like that's Punch. No, yeah, okay. So this is the best movie with him and Drew Barrymore. Then I really
each one got worse. I mean, 50 First Dates isn't that bad, but Blended is pretty bad.
Wedding Singer is the best, but this is like Adam Sandler when like he has good comedic timing and it's a classic. Like, I don't really have a lot to add on it. I just really like it.
I think it's cute, the scenes that they have.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I will go on to say my next favorite. I'm gonna say this one because I wanted to pick something like a little J-Lo because she has been in a lot of wedding movies.
Well, she's been married a lot, so what do you expect?
She also been married a lot of times and engaged.
So she has good experience for those roles.
She also said that she loves love, she loves falling in love, and you know what?
No shit.
Marry Me, the 2022 film.
Really? That's one of your favorites?
Critics are in love with Marry Me. What? Jennifer Lopez effortlessly commands the screen.
I have a lot to live up to.
There's only one person who can sell the belief in true love.
Totally.
And that is, of course, Jennifer Lopez.
You're welcome.
Marry Me in theaters and streaming now only on Peacock. Rated PG-13.
I will choose that one as one of my favorites.
I won't lie. I have a soft spot for the movie.
I think it's really cute. I like the performances with her and Owen Wilson. Did I think it was so left field to cast Owen Wilson?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you got this, like, honestly, in my opinion, Jennifer Lopez is very attractive, and like, Owen
Wilson
also he's like handsome. He's a dork.
He's just so dorky,
and it's like it's so weird to have them.
And like, I remember when I heard it for the first time that they filmed this movie, and I was like, "Ooh, what?" And okay, Owen Wilson, he's making a comeback. Okay,
Lightning McQueen falls in love with the judge for one of the judges for the word.
Just imagine him at the altar when they were like
you've
seen it, and he goes ka-chow, and just gives her a big old fat kiss.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome! But I'm surprised you liked that movie.
I really liked it. It's directed by Kat Coro, who's done like series for Girls Five Forever. She hasn't done a lot of stuff, but I'm not a fan of what she did with the She-Hulk series. But I was like, you know what?
The Shield?
She directed she was an executive producer. She worked on that. She worked on a couple different films, and I thought this was a cute film. It was simple enough, fine, and it was an easy breezy watch. I love the soundtrack. I love Party. It's like a Latin song. I really like it. And and the song that she sings, Marry Me, and then On My Way. I really like the song she actually puts out for films, but I thought this was a cute movie. It was fine.
I watched it on Peacock, and
that's where I watched it because my mom was like, I don't feel like going to the theater to see it, so we watched it the night it came out. So
wow.
I think it's cute. It has a cute ending. Father with a daughter. She falls in love also with the fact that J-Lo wants to be like have this married life, and still be the pop star. It did get mixed reviews, but I was pretty satisfied with what I watched. Is it predictable? Yeah. But I just like it just made me feel happy like after I watched it. I felt like these cute little butterflies.
Well, I feel like that's any type of like romance movie where it's like because that is like an odd couple movie. You got Owen Wilson who's like the dork dad, and then you got like this stunningly beautiful pop star singer, and they just start to fall in love, and you're like, what the hell? Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. I'm like Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. That's like a combo I would never have imagined.
And this film was delayed. And let me tell you, because it was first filmed in October 2019. And then it was supposed to come out like in February of 2021. But COVID happened.
That's right.
So they kept pushing it back. And then it finally came out in 2022.
Damn. That's like, if you think about all those films that came out that year in 2021, 2022, a lot of those were filmed during COVID. So like watching those films back is kind of weird because like they have this weird,
especially for a film that was filmed in 2019 and then you had to wait for so long. Like it took them like 3 years to release it.
That's ridiculous. Damn.
Yeah.
But Marry Me is pretty good. You should give it a watch. I think it's
cute watch.
Yeah.
This is like not my favorites. If you guys want to see my favorites, I made a list on my Instagram if you want to go check it out.
There you go.
But Mac, what's your second favorite?
So my second favorite wedding movie. This is a little unorthodox, but I was really thinking about this at work and I wanted to take notes on it. My number 2 favorite is going to be Rec 3 or Record 3 or whatever you want to pronounce it with.
Acepta este anillo como señal de mi amor y mi fidelidad a ti.
Rec 3.
No te cases nunca.
Really? What makes you like?
So,
how is that a wedding movie? Give me
it is based. It takes place in a wedding, and the infection that's from the first 2 Rec movies, takes place during a wedding. So it is the centerpiece is a wedding, but it's like it's a horror survival movie, but it is a wedding movie because the way it's structured, I like it because you've seen the Rec movies, right? Like the Record movies. So I like how this one's formatted because it starts off as the found footage because it actually starts as like a wedding menu, like the DVD. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then once the infection happens, the guy's like, hey, stop recording. We don't need the stuff like this. And it actually turns to like traditional camera. So I like to switch up there. And I like the undertone of like the bride and groom, like they don't just like, oh, it's zombies or infected. Like that's dumb, but I want to get back to my love of my life. Like it's a beautiful love story. And I mean, come on, the bride literally like she goes chainsaw mode, which is so badass. I love it. And like I think it's just a fun movie because it uses the setting of a wedding to like an outbreak is like pretty cool to me. And I think it was very unique in this genre because at that time we had Rec 1, which was awesome, Rec 2, which was fine, but it wasn't as good as the first one. And then I think the third one did a good job of recapturing that magic of the first one with a different setting, in my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, I just like it. I just like the fact that it uses the wedding as just the basis for it, and it makes it a little bit more hard. It's like it's heartwarming and it's heartbreaking at the same time because just like you feel like in any other situation, like if it was a natural disaster or any kind of disaster, a bride and groom who were just recently married, they're gonna do anything they can to get to see each other again. But yeah, I like Rec. I like Rec 3. That's like one of my favorite wedding movies. It's a weird choice. So
interesting.
Yeah, I wish they make more. Don't watch the Quarantine movie. That's terrible. That's pretty much the American remake of Rec, and they're like, yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. If you look behind the scenes of Quarantine, like, yeah, no, we don't know what you're talking about. What's this Rec? This is a whole like concept that's new to us. We didn't do that.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, give Rec 3 a watch. It's fun.
Let me see. My next one is actually one that got a lot of attention in 2011, and that is Bridesmaids, directed by Paul Feig.
I forgot about that. Holy shit.
Paul Feig, I think this is his best movie.
Agreed.
Like, besides A Simple Favor.
Oh.
I love A Simple Favor. I think that movie is just as good. But if we're talking wedding movies, this one is really, really well done for a comedy. It's hilarious. I love the fact that Annie Malumbo and Kristen Wiig wrote it. They were such a great pair for it. This movie got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress and Best Original Screenplay back in 2012. And I was looking at the time when at the 84th Academy Awards, because this is like when it was going up with the Oscars. I was very surprised to see Melissa McCarthy get a nomination at that time.
Damn. Well, this is when
she was like a hot ticket item at the time.
Yeah, because she was still doing Mike and Molly, so this was like a lot of people didn't know, either they knew her from that or their first interaction was her in Bridesmaids, and to this day people said that Bridesmaids is like her best role to this day.
I can agree to that.
Raise your glass to Bridesmaids. Woo! Nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards. Best Picture and Best Actress Kristen Wiig. It's a Critics' Choice nominee for Best Comedy, an AFI Top 10 Film of the Year, a SAG Award nominee for Best Cast, and Melissa McCarthy has been nominated for Best Supporting Actress by critics groups across the country.
What's that?
I have to get back to my seat.
Yeah, you gotta get back on my seat.
Bridesmaids. Own it on Blu-ray and DVD today.
I think it's one of her most memorable performances due to that. And during the time of 2011, this was like when at the 84th Academy Awards, Octavia Spencer won the Academy Award for Help, and Minnie and Help. That right there is like the best performance out of all the people who were nominated in that category, because it was just like, but by then Jessica Chastain, Janet McAteer, and a woman's who was in The Artist. I cannot pronounce her name. It was Bernice Bejo, and I haven't seen her in anything since I saw The Artist. But going back into the Bridesmaids, it's a happy wedding movie, but it's not so much focused on the wedding. It's more focused on the power of friendship.
Yeah.
So I'll go off on saying this was like a story of friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, Bridesmaids is a good movie.
I love the scenes with Kristen Wiig, especially with her and Rose Byrne.
Oh, that's right, she is in this, I forgot.
Especially in the scenes where they're like fighting for the attention of Maya Rudolph because of Kristen Wiig becomes the maid of honor. And
you keep saying wing.
Rose...
You mean wig? Kristen Wiig?
Yeah.
You said wing.
Oh, whoops. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so yeah, Kristen Wiig is the maid of honor.
Maybe I was saying wig and then it sounded like wing.
You're good. No, I agree with you. But Bridesmaids is really funny.
I love, like, Rose Byrne is jealous of Kristen because she wants to be the maid of honor. And for Maya Rudolph, and it turned into a nasty little girl fight. The dress scene and the bridal shop where they're trying on all the dresses and all the girls get sick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
That's so funny. And the bridal shower where everybody gets a souvenir as a puppy.
Oh yeah.
And Melissa McCarthy's like, I took 9. And just her walking over to Kristen Wiig's house and just Wiig's house and is like, with all the puppies and stuff, and then they're shown at the end, and then the ending with Wilson Phillips shows up at the end. It's like, Rose Byrne tries to put on this big glamorous wedding for Maya Rudolph, and it just Kristen Wiig wants, like, a simple wedding, to help her, and that's kind of what Maya wants, and Rose just does not take that into consideration. It came out in May, so it was like looking at a May wedding release.
Yeah.
But definitely a fan favorite. I think it's watched a lot of bachelorette parties because I watched it at mine.
That, and if you think about it, like, this came out in 2011, you can think about all the other films that came out that kind of took inspiration from this, because there's 2 I can name probably off the top of my head would be like, I'd say probably Girls Trip to an extent, and maybe Rough Night, the one with Scarlett Johansson and Jillian Bell.
I think that comes dead last, though. Like, if you're gonna think of raunchy comedies that star females, it's definitely like Bridesmaids and Girls Trip.
You don't like Rough Night?
No.
Damn. I forgot all about that movie. I was like, damn, that's another wedding movie, but I guess no one really
really cared to see it. That's why.
I think the joke was like, oh, they killed the guy. It was like Weekend at Bernie's and Bridesmaids.
Yep.
But it definitely like inspired a lot of people they inspire a lot of films for bachelorette parties, and like, I enjoy it. Weren't they thinking about making like a second one apparently?
Yeah, I think there was discussion of a sequel, but it just.
How would you do a sequel with that anyway?
You really can't. I wouldn't want to. Like, there wasn't planning on a sequel. It says on here on Wikipedia that when asked about a potential like sequel and potential involvement, Wig told the Hollywood Reporter is that we aren't working on that. Annie and I aren't planning a sequel. We are writing something else. Following Wig's statement, reports surfaced that the Universal's interest was proceeding without her, instead focusing on developing a story about McCarthy's character.
See that. Yeah, that means like they said, well, if you don't want to work on a sequel, then we'll just get rid of you and then do something else. So it won't be the same.
McCarthy dispelled the rumors that she would consider returning for a sequel without Wig saying, God, I wouldn't want to. I would never want to do that. I think that's a terrible idea. I don't know anything about it. But I do know that nobody wants to do it unless it's great. If it is, I will show up whenever those ladies are. So do you know what?
That's good on her.
It's good that I don't think there needs to be a sequel.
No.
Because not every film needs to be a sequel.
No. But the first one made money, so they're like, money though.
Yeah. Anytime a film, I guess, anytime a movie, I think, goes up past 50 million, they see sequel.
The sequel time, yay! Can I mention a dishonorable mention too? Because before we get to like our favorites,
yeah,
the one with Josh Gad and Kevin Hart, I saw that in theaters.
Oh, that's such a bad one.
What's it called? The Wedding Ringer.
Yes,
that was like, oh my god! I saw that with my dad in theaters, and it was so weird. Like, it was like, if I remember correctly, Kevin Hart had a business where he got to be a bride. He pretended to be like the best man if he for people who didn't like have friends or anything. And the whole arc was him like, oh, you don't have any friends or anything like that. But then him and Josh Gad become like super friends. And if I'm not mistaken, his bride was actually Penny from Katie Kuko from Big Bang Theory, which is weird. And it's just that the whole film, it's about them like bonding and Josh Gad realizing he doesn't really need Katie to be his wife. He actually meets like another girl when they're at his bachelor party, because I think a dog bit him on his penis for peanut butter. Like, it's such a weird movie. Like,
I think I watched it on. It had to be Netflix, and I don't even remember seeing that. I remember there was another movie, and that I also want to make a dishonorable mention. And that is Dirty Grandpa.
Is that a wedding movie?
You can kind of call it one, but it's where like Zac Efron is going to marry Julianne Hough.
Oh, that one. I thought you were talking about Bad Grandpa. Whoops.
No.
Okay,
no.
I got confused. Grandpa. Oh yeah, that's the one with De Niro as Zac Efron's grandfather, right?
Yes,
okay,
that one was also pretty bad. That one you could say it's not. I wouldn't put that one as a wedding, but it does involve a wedding.
What about what's the other one? Fuck, I think it was bad. The wedding date. The two guys need the date for the wedding.
Oh, Mike and Dave need wedding dates. Like, yeah, that one I can slide over a little. It's not great, but you can kind of live without that one.
That one was weird. I didn't like it. Who was it? Wasn't it like Bella Thorne was in that? Or I'm really
no. Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, yeah.
Was in that, and Anna Kendrick.
Okay, yeah, that was just
that was the one that was based on like the true story.
That was based on a true story?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
And Wendy Williams had a cameo in it. So
let's
also one other dishonorable mention, one more before we go into our favorites. You spoke of Adam Sandler. Remember, That's My Boy.
Okay. I kind of like that movie because it's kind of funny to me, because it was the concept of it when I was a kid. I thought it was so hilarious. Like, oh, Adam Sandler hooked up with his teacher. The teacher's pregnant, and like, will I say a lot of the jokes don't really hit? Yeah, I agree, but I think the worst thing for me is I don't like when Adam Sandler does stuff with his face like, you're Adam Sandler from Boston, you know? Hey, fucking kidding me, man? Oh, that's on a baker. It's so annoying. Like, I hate it. But to me, there are some parts in the film that are just funny to me. Like, I like the one when Andy Samberg was fighting with the priest, and there's a running joke with people getting knocked out with beer bottles, and I like the Vanilla Ice cameo. It was like his uncle. That was
Vanilla
funny.
Ice thing is so stupid.
It was funny, but then it is kind of dumb because the twist was like, oh my gosh, the bride having sex with her brother. Oh, gross. Oh, like there are some stuff like,
and it's played by Vilo Ventimiglia. He's in that movie.
Yeah, I'm just there's stuff in it. I get it, but other like my it's so dumb. I might put it.
It's so dumb.
My
and then,
favorite. Oh, go ahead.
And here's the worst part: is Nick Swartzard is in that movie. You know,
yes, he is.
That is, I cannot stand that man. I think he is not funny. That man. Don't get me started. I won't say more. But Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star. Oh my god.
Here's my favorite part. Like I might put it in the podcast. Is when Andy Samberg was drunk, and he thought the wedding dress was his wife, and he just started having sex with it. He threw up on it.
You puked on my dress and then fucked it.
And I was like,
God,
it was so fun. It
stop.
was funny to me. I don't know why. And I'm like, I was like 12 at the time, so I have not watched it since I was probably like 15, 16. So I thought it was the funniest shit ever. But I could probably shit. Like I have a soft spot for it. I think it's not as bad.
I think you were the first person I've ever heard.
It's kind of fun,
that.
and considering it was following up Jack and Jill, it's kind of an improvement.
Anything is better than those two.
And it's just funny because like in the court scene when she's like, take care of her baby daddy, he's like, I'll never stop loving you, Miss McCarrickle. The judge like, that's just fucking sick. I was like, I don't know why, it was just funny to me. And then like, okay, one of my favorite running jokes is Rex Ryan as like Adam Sandler's financial accountant, like account guy. He's like, whoa, watch the Tom Brady poster, look at that jawline. I'm like, okay, that's funny. Like if you're a football fan, you know Rex Ryan does not like the Patriots, so having him play a guy from Boston is like, whoa, you can't disrespect the genius Bill Belichick, or don't watch the Tom Brady poster. Like that's funny to me. I don't know why, that's just funny to me. But yeah, that's my boy. I will defend that's my boy.
Moving on, do you want to give your number one pick?
Yes. So my number one pick is another unorthodox one because technically it is a wedding movie, but it's more about the after effects of the wedding. I'm going to go with 2019's Ready or Not.
Hide and seek.
We'll give you a 10-second head start.
Ready or Not is the year's best horror thriller. With an ending so shocking, it will blow you away. Good luck. Ready or Not, rated R. Buy tickets now.
I almost picked that.
So
but it is on my list on my Instagram.
I love Ready or Not because it's a wedding movie, but it's a twist to it because it's like, oh, you have to play this game. We're playing hide and seek, and then this is the family trying to kill her, which is pretty cool. And
to actually kind of put this out there, that was one of the first movies Dylan and I went to go see together.
Really?
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. Like honestly, I like Samara Weaving. I think she's a good actress. She's not really in
Love her.
She's not in really that many good movies, in my opinion. I think this is probably one of her better movies. Because when I think of her, I just think of this, The Babysitter, G.I. Joe, the Snake Eyes. So this is the only good one I can actually think of her in it. But I just like what I like the most about Ready or Not, it would have to be the costume, like the wardrobe, because I like how they made her dress sort of like a storytelling element as far as the movie goes on, the more her dress gets tattered. And I think it has one of the best endings like of all time, and then with like a horror movie. It was kind of funny to me because what I liked about it, I guess we could spoil it. The reason why that they're playing a game on wedding night is because she's an orphan, but she's marrying into a board game family, or like they're like an empire to like board games, everything. And they made a deal with this guy named Lavelle, yeah, that's his name. And they have to play a game every year, and one of the games is hide and seek. Either the bride or the groom has to hide, and then the family has to sacrifice them for Lavelle. But if they don't, then bad things will happen. But throughout the movie, they're like, oh, we don't even know if this curse is real. Like, this could be just bullshit. And then, she survives, and they're like, oh, the curse is bullshit. But then they all start exploding, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I love the ending to that.
Samara Weaving is just laughing, and she does like a little snort. She's like, I was like, okay, I don't know if that was, I think that was legit. It was kind of funny. And I like the the reveal that Lavelle was real because the fire goes up with the chair. You just see him just on the chair. It's like, good job, Samara. She's like, fuck. I was like, it's just funny, and I think it's really awesome. And there's a lot of the actors in that movie. I actually recognized it because I watched the kill count for it, and I didn't realize the girl who had the 2 rotten kids. She was in one of the Saw movies. She was in the Shotgun Carousel. And
Okay, yeah.
And then freaking Adam Brody's in this movie too.
Yep.
So that's a plus, but it's just
Andy McDowell's also in that movie.
Yes, a lot of good characters in this movie, and I love it. I love Ready or Not. It's definitely
a great film, and I think it might have been in my top 20 actually of that year.
Really,
so,
it was really good. I wish I saw it in theaters. I'm sad it took me till like watching it on, because I watched it when it came on HBO Max, and I was like, shit, this is a really good movie.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I was very happy to see it in theaters. But going back to Samara Weaving, she was in Babylon. If you remember, she was in that.
Yes,
I like to go ahead.
One that 5 people watched.
Yeah,
I'm
she
not
was
saying
also
it's
in the newer Scream movie. She was just in the beginning.
Yes.
You know, she was underutilized. You know, she kind of like has established herself as like a horror actress, and knowing that she was casted in that makes sense. She was also in Bill and Ted Face the Music. You know,
that's true. Oh, I just remembered now. You mentioned horror. Did you hear what McG said?
What did he say?
He said that the Babysitter 3 is a possibility, and he's working on it.
Okay.
Because you mentioned Samara Weaving, and it finally clicked. I'm like, Babysitter, that's right. He said the 3rd one may be coming.
Oh, but Samara Weaving does have a new movie that's going to come out. I think it's going to be next year, and it's called Borderline, where a bodyguard protects a pop star and her athlete boyfriend from a determined stalker in the 1990s in Los Angeles.
Is that supposed to be a serious or comedy?
It's going to be. It sounds like it's going to be like a horror home invasion movie, and it stars her and Eric Dane.
Huh.
I am like. Or Eric Dane, and I'm very interested in it. I just was like, I like the picture. I'll just send you the IMDb info.
Okay.
And then there's another film that she was in. This came out earlier this year. It doesn't have a full release date yet, but I think it was played at film festivals. But it was called Boy Kills World, and it stars Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah,
I want to see that too. But it's like it looks like, based on the photos, it looks very action horror like. You know, maybe more action, but I like Samara Weaving, so
that's good.
I'm happy you acknowledged that movie.
Thank you. I love it, and I'm glad she's establishing herself as a screen queen.
Finally, I'm gonna say mine, and mine I'm gonna just say this one. I feel like I like this one. Not a favorite by critics, but it is 2009's The Proposal.
Margaret, you're being deported.
Deported? We're getting married.
Who is getting married?
You and I.
On June 19th.
You want me to marry you? Give me a promotion.
Fine.
What started as a business proposal.
Have the 2 of you told your parents?
We're going to their place this weekend.
Oh, where's that? Alaska.
Alaska.
Might turn out to be something more.
Let's see a kiss.
Use this. It has special powers. I call it the baby maker.
Be super careful with that one.
The Proposal.
Oh my God!
Rated PG-13.
I have a soft spot for this film.
Remind me of that one again.
This is a movie starring Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that one. Okay. I couldn't remember. I could not remember for the life of me. I'm like, what's that name? So familiar.
Yeah, this is when Sandra Bullock plays like a mean boss. She has her younger assistant, who's played by like Ryan Reynolds, to marry her in order to keep her visa to stay in the US and avoid deportation to Canada. It's a little silly.
You know the irony of that with Ryan Reynolds being that's funny. Okay, that's kind of funny.
Just like, you know, he's from Canada.
Oh my God. But what makes you like The Proposal?
I just love the comedy of the two of them and just the story, and then the fact that his family finds out he's getting married, and you know, Sandra doesn't have any family.
Damn.
And like, you know, they put on this act to put on this wedding, and Betty White in this film is so stinking adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but laugh, like everything that they do together and they do, especially the scene with the shower scene and when they first like have their kiss in the movie in front of the family. There's a boat scene where he's driving super fast. Like there's a lot of good stuff in it. And I was realizing that this film was directed by Anne Fletcher. And Anne Fletcher first started off pretty good as a director. Like she directed the first Step Up movie. She directed 27 Dresses, another film I think I have a soft spot for. But then after that, downhill from there. Because then it was The Guilt Trip with Barbra Streisand and Seth Rogen. Then it was Hot Pursuit, and that's hot garbage. Jesus. Starring Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara. Dumplin'. Dumplin' is okay, but not great. And then she just recently did Hocus Pocus 2, which I did not see or had an interest in.
Jesus, well, you're considering her. She did Step Up, so I don't think there was an uphill to begin with. Step Up.
I don't mind Step Up. Step Up was a staple in my middle school years.
I mean, I wouldn't say like Step Up is like terrible, but like considering that as the uphill, I'd probably say I don't know, because even. I think I watched the proposal and I didn't think it was. I thought it was okay. Like I don't know. Like that's weird. What a weird career trajectory that is.
She's had some interesting films.
Yeah.
But in that film, it also had like some staples, like people from the 2009 era. So like Mary Steinberg, Craig T. Nelson.
Oh my god.
Dennis O'Hare, Malin Ackerman. Do you remember Malin Ackerman?
I think so.
She's on the show Billions, but she was also in 27 Dresses, with, like I said earlier, directed by Anne Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also in Watchmen, The Final Girls, The Heartbreak Kid, Rock of Ages.
Wait, who is she in Watchmen?
Lori Jupiter.
That doesn't help.
Silk Spectre 2.
Oh, the girl, the younger one.
I think so. Like I don't remember, but I just remember her as Lori.
Wait, what's her name?
Malin Ackerman.
Malin Ackerman. Oh, yeah, she's the one that hooked up with Patrick Wilson in Watchmen. Okay, now I remember. All right.
And we also
what's she doing?
Watched her.
I haven't seen
in the movie that was out last year that we discussed with the director, A Week in Paradise.
See, you saying her name in Watchmen is the most 2009 thing because deadass, I completely forgot about her until you mentioned it. I forgot. I was like, why does this girl look familiar?
Yeah.
Damn.
She's in a lot of independent films, I will say, as of lately. But
good on her.
She was in, good for her. But I also want to say that this film earned $317 million worldwide on a $4 million budget. And Sandra Bullock was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actress at the did I say that? Wow, I said that incorrectly. Sandra Bullock was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actress for a musical or comedy.
Good on you, Sandra.
Golden Globe. So, which I completely forgot that she was nominated for this film, but I just remember going to theaters to see it, and I remember like it was played in the theaters for a long time in 2009 since it made so much money.
You know, wedding movies always make a lot of money because you got
not
people...
always. I don't think like as of lately, because now I think they go more towards streaming. But I was looking at it, like one of the last wedding like movies was Marry Me.
Would you consider what happened in Vegas a wedding movie?
I feel like it has to contain a wedding, so I guess so, given the fact that the characters do wind up together in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So,
man, wedding movies are definitely a hit or miss. Like, we've had the ups, we've had downs, we've had ones that we just forget. There's gonna be, so you know how we've had the New Year's Kiss and Valentine's Day. Do you think they'll ever make a movie where it's like the wedding day or something where it's like different weddings all interconnecting?
Well, given the fact that Gary Marshall was the king for notoriously doing that, since he's no longer with us.
Oh, he died?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Gary Marshall has been dead for a long time.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. I didn't know who did those movies. I was like, damn, why are these so?
Yeah, because he did. Gary Marshall passed away like in 2016.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's the one who did like Runaway Bride, Pretty Woman, the Princess Diaries movies, and that's where Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve and Mother's Day are all connected.
Well, I feel like someone else will probably do that, like a wedding day movie where it's different stories on the wedding, because you can't forget about all those wedding movies where it's like the wedding planner doesn't have enough time to plan her own wedding until
I feel like it's been done already.
No, that's what I mean. Like that's the cliche, because the wedding genre has so many cliches. You got the ones where it's like, oh, I think I'm marrying the right guy, but it turns out I'm marrying someone else, or the wedding planner is so busy with her life, but she can't even plan her own wedding until she meets the perfect guy while planning a wedding. Or you got the one where like nothing goes right, and it just looks like it doesn't matter. I don't want to extravagant wedding. I just want a wedding for you and me.
Yeah,
those are like
but
cliches.
Well, I think that's all we have for now, right, Mac?
Yeah. So if you have any funny wedding stories or want to go mention your wedding movies, drop them down in the comments below. I'm curious to see what else we missed, because there's a lot of wedding movies. We only got to 6 or maybe 8 of them, but there's a lot more.
Yeah, and I feel like I want to apologize if I said anything incorrectly with the strike. We're gonna get it all straightened out for y'all next time when we talk.
Yeah, we're gonna play catch up. So next episode,
we're still in the process of figuring out. We have something in the pipeline, but we gotta make sure it's ironed out first.
Yeah, but just in case, the next episode it's gonna be a special Christmas episode, right?
Christmas.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what we're watching. It might be the Polar Express. It might be something else.
Oh, please don't let it be Polar Express.
It'll make Kristen suffer the caribou scene when they pull the guy's beard. It's like, oh,
not the bells.
The bells. Hey, kid, you believe in Santa.
Josh Groban singing "Believe."
Believe. Or how about the hobo be like, you want a cup of Joe, kid? It gets slammed to the sun. But no, we'll be watching something for Christmas, and then we'll be getting into the Iron Claw, which is going to be awesome. Cannot wait for that movie. And then if everything goes according to plan, we shall be hitting you guys with our best and worst movies episode, and that will be fun, because this year has been definitely
it was an interesting year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and a lot
of pushback on movies, a lot of release date changes, but it brought us some movies.
Yeah, and I gotta figure out, like, I've seen a lot of stuff this year. I gotta figure out what I actually watched.
I have to update my list. I haven't done it since the summer, and I was writing out all the movies, folks, that I've been watching, and I'm like, oh wait, this wasn't added to my list, so now I feel like I have to rearrange my list again.
Same. I completely forgot. But thank you all for listening. You're listening to the M&K Productions Podcast. I am now a 24-year-old Mac from Mac Movie Reviews, and my co-host is now married, Miss Flamingo now. You can follow us on Instagram at M&K Productions Podcast, or our YouTube channel at Mac Movie Reviews, and our Instagrams, Mac Movie Reviews and Miss Flamingo. You can also follow us on TikTok at M&K Productions Podcast. Be a lookout for some merchandise. You might be doing some special Christmas sales. Just if you want to pick up the M&K Productions merchandise, you can pick it up on our spring store. It'll be more info below, and more will be probably released after this episode in the coming days after this gets posted. But I've been Mac. This has been Kristen. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.
Baby, you a star, I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue honeys, I'm too money. Like my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah.